These are my notes on the first Deadpool because I was just like,
okay.
I was like, I didn't write anything.
You
about
have
Deadpool.
no idea what you're doing, do you?
No,
it's
I didn't
all
know.
new to you.
I don't even know if our microphones are on.
Yeah, no, it's true.
Let's just kick it off. Live in the dungeon, this is the Dream Warrior Review. I'm Kurt Thomas.
I'm Mick Strawn.
This is episode 64. Shut the door. Do you want to read it or do you want me to read it?
Foul-mouthed mutant mercenary Wade Wilson, a.k.a. Deadpool, brings together a team of fellow mutant rogues to protect a young boy of supernatural abilities from the brutal time-traveling mutant K.
How was that? Enough inflection?
That was awesome. And I think this had a different director, didn't it?
Did it? I don't know.
David seemed like a different person to me.
It was definitely a different director.
Oh.
This was a much looser director.
Oh, Tim Miller was the first one.
Yeah.
So this one's David something.
There was a certain tension between Ryan Reynolds' character wanting to be loose and absolutely nothing reacting to it at all in the film. And I don't think that was here as much. It seemed like there was less tension.
Less tension?
More like we're all in on the joke. We're all in on the joke, you know?
Well, I was debating in my head if I like the first one or the second one more. So
Really?
actually, I watched the first one last night to brush up.
Do tell.
And I was like, yeah, this one's pretty awesome.
Yeah, no, it was great.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I like this one better.
And then I was trying to figure out so I'm going to start a new spreadsheet.
Oh, no. Okay.
What we
this
ranked
one?
films. Because I was like, what did I rank? I don't even know what I ranked Avengers. And that was just like recent. And the Thor was episode like 11 or 12.
But you pay attention to this stuff. It's your... Look, we've talked to Neve before.
But I sound like an idiot if I say, I thought Avengers was 3.8. And then I'm like, this one's like 3.5. But I think this one's better than the Avengers.
I've told you this before. that what I do and what I believe in is that you start out as an idiot and therefore nobody's going to expect any different from you.
So in other words, this podcast is probably amazing to people because we really started out as idiots.
Right.
In fact, if we released our first episode, it would be really clear that we were idiots.
I'm sure because for one thing, you would have there would be as evidence of growth,
right?
And you would have had a character arc.
Yes.
And I'm still an idiot.
Right.
Yeah. Exactly.
I'm like, I guess the character arc was. I feel like kind of like Wolverine, but I'm not. I'm not dead yet. I don't know.
Well, I don't laugh as hard directly into the mic as I did originally.
I was telling one of my coworkers, I was like, yeah, Deadpool's probably my favorite X-Men movie. He's like, Deadpool's X-Men? What? I was like, you didn't know that?
You didn't know that? Yeah. Didn't.
But no, still, yeah.
Oh,
definitely.
I love this one. I love the nudge and the wink to the camera. You know,
yes.
And
he broke the fourth wall constantly. Just like he did in the first one.
Right.
Actually, more than the first one.
No, much more than the first one. And I just love the lazy writing lines because it's funny.
Well, he was one of the writers.
Exactly. But that's the really funny thing about it is that I always have lazy writing in my head. I go, oh, that's just lazy writing, and I think that many times when I'm watching films, I go, well, they couldn't have done better than that,
It never occurred to me that you'd be interested in dialogue.
It was fairly consistent in this, and what I was mentioning was that thing the lazy writing thing.
Yes,
and I think, well, that's just lazy writing, and that's what I think to myself so often. I think,
don't you think the fact that he mentioned it was lazy writing was that lazy writing in itself?
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. Oh yeah. No. This is you know what this is? This is two mirrors looking at each other, and you standing between the two, and it's infinity and going back and forth.
So I was actually thinking, like, after I watched Deadpool, the first one again, I was like thinking, I actually like it almost as much as Black Panther, but Black Panther is totally different. It's like your run of the mill.
Right,
superhero.
it's the best of
Deadpool
the pure
is just
super.
like it's kind of wacky, crazy,
It's Ryan Reynolds.
violent. It's so crazy. It's what I like about the first one too was that it was like a horror movie because it was very gory. And
Right.
in fact, they even said a line in there, I think, about it being a horror movie.
Yeah. Well, and I don't know if you've noticed this, but these movies are evolving a lot. I think that if you go back 5 years in all these Marvel movies, I don't think that you find any cursing. I don't think that you could find.
I was like, go back to the first few X-Men, probably.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Totally different. Yeah.
it is completely different. It's a little bit
Well,
more.
he was decapitating people in the first one, and like doing all these crazy like
Yeah, but how long ago was that? It wasn't that long ago.
2 years ago.
Yeah, 2 years ago.
2016.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying is the Marvel movies that are getting a lot.
Well, Black Panther was pretty
Yeah.
milk toasty, I think.
Yeah, no, it was, but by all means, when we did the Avengers one, was a little bit further, and I just think that we're getting a little bit, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It certainly makes it feel a little bit real. I mean, we're actually using the language that superheroes use.
Right. Well, in the first one, you knew you were in for something when the opening credits alone.
Oh yeah.
And in this one, it's like, well, if you've seen the first one, you know what to expect. But if you didn't, you knew you were in for something weird too.
By watching the credits.
It's like, yeah,
that's for sure.
I don't know. I really liked it. I mean, I don't know if I have much to say about it. See, it's like this always happens when I really like something. I'm like, I don't really know what to say.
Yeah, no, I get that too. No, we've both been this way. I mean, when we really like a film, everything's going to be short.
Ryan Reynolds is awesome. I can't say enough about him. And then that woman that plays his wife
From Serenity, from the pull up the credits.
Yes, Marina.
Oh yeah, she
I
was
don't know how to pronounce her name. It starts with a B though.
Baccarin.
Yeah, sure, we'll try that.
Okay. She's. I first saw her in not Serenity, but the Firefly.
Firefly, okay.
Firefly, and then on in the movie.
These are on my
Serenity.
list of things to watch.
And
someday.
she is just beautiful and has a kind of a stately, peaceful presence that I really dig.
She looks kind of like not a Barbie doll, but like an action, like a doll, like I don't know, maybe it's the eyes or something. It's like big eyes.
China doll.
Yeah, there you go.
That's
kind of what I was looking for, I think.
Absolutely.
And then Josh Brolin, he's always a badass.
Yeah, but it's weird. Didn't we just see him as another character? We did. Josh Brolin was the one that was Thanos.
Oh, that's right.
I mean, I didn't understand.
Yeah, the big
that.
guy in Avengers. The big purple guy.
Is it legal to actually play two characters in Marvel world?
Wow. I mean, if anybody can pull it off, why not Josh
Well,
Brolin?
yeah, no, that's true.
But, I mean, Avengers really, all he did was lend his voice to it. I mean, it's like,
You mean that jaw wasn't his?
No, I'm pretty sure it wasn't.
They
had like the 4 lines in it or whatever it was. But
yeah. I swear there wasn't not. I kept thinking to myself during the Avengers that was not a very well developed face. It kind of looked like a sketch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like, well, this is what it's going to look like.
Well, that
when
was
we're
my
done.
problem with Thor.
But you guys filmed all of that. I just left you a sketch.
yeah.
We never figured it out. We never worked it all out.
That's
Well,
been
there
my
you go.
problem with superhero, these movies with the villains. They always look flat. Like Thor, the villain was pretty cheesy and flat.
You know, my wife is she paints these helmets, right? And they have people request everything that you can imagine. And she's been doing a cartoon version of Groot. Of the little Groot,
Yeah,
right? She's
yeah.
done a couple of them, right? But the cartoon version that they use that is I guess there's a series out that's it's terrible. I mean, it's just it kind of looks like there was a character a while back on I can't think of where it was. Oh, it was Fabulous Freak Brothers. They had a back in the 70s. They had a character that was a turd, and it kind of looked like Groot.
Oh,
You know.
wow.
Of course, it was a turd smoking a joint. Just replace the joint with a cassette recorder and earphones. And,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I think
that's
one
what
time he was drinking a drink or something like out of a straw. So there you go.
Yeah, there you go. So yeah. So
But yeah, so the character arcs. I mean, at Deadpool, his arc is amazing.
yeah.
I mean, it's still arcing.
Oh yeah.
Over and over again.
It is really he is really doing the most interesting character, and the thing is Ryan Reynolds is really good.
And then compare this to Green Lantern.
He's not. He compared himself to Green Lantern. That was brilliant.
Yeah. Well, at some point
I think he feels a little misunderstood.
Yes.
You know, but it's all right there. That the greatest thing is Ryan Reynolds is one of those guys like Frank Sinatra used to be able to sing and then comment in the middle of it and just come right back into the singing, right?
Well,
and
alcohol played part of that probably, but like Dean Martin,
and we don't know that it's not playing a part here.
Right. No, but I saw Green Lantern in the Cinerama in Seattle.
Yeah.
In 3D. And I didn't really hate it. It was okay. I mean, Ryan Reynolds actually was pretty decent in it, but it was just I think if it was a stronger movie, he would have been a little bit elevated a little bit more. You know what I mean? So this is what saved his career, I think. Well, not really.
It was not a good looking movie.
No. It looked really
it looked like TV. It really did. It looked like something
and
from
imagine
TV.
in 3D, it was like,
oh,
yeah.
Wow. Yeah, it would have been hard.
But it wasn't terrible. I thought his performance was actually pretty decent in that one. I might be wrong. So I'm trying to give him some props.
So how many? What am I?
Are we already going to rate it?
What's our? Yeah, we're going to rate it because you don't have anything to say here.
Other than the Juggernaut was kind of cheesy, but he didn't really need to be very interesting.
Yeah, it's true. Well,
and the kid, and then of course the group they put together was pretty classic.
Yeah.
There was a group he puts together in this movie that's pretty. It's pretty freaking funny what happens to him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's very funny. And
I'd say this is funnier than the first one. The first one was a little bit more edgy.
No, you're absolutely right. I like this one better because it's funnier.
Yeah.
It does not take itself
But it's funnier because you've
seriously.
seen the first one. What if you didn't see the first one? How would you feel about it? That's the question.
No, I would have loved it
Yeah.
because I don't remember things.
The first one I remember going like, okay, this is totally different. So forget about what you've seen.
Yeah, well, you have to remember everything's just new to me. I'm just like right on the edge of having Alzheimer's. I swear this morning I went to the post office and I walked out of the post office and there were 3 silver cars in the parking lot that looked approximately like mine. And I had to look inside of all 3 of them to determine which was my car. And the only thing I could think of was I was sort of clapping myself on the back, kind of that I remembered that we owned a silver car. So
wow. Well, see,
Yeah.
there you go.
No,
you at least
I get
remembered.
that.
Well, you have the
See,
little
I
clicky thing too. You know, the little key. thing?
and I forget that all the time.
Oh, so that reminds me.
Yeah.
You told me a story one time about that.
About the clicky thing?
About looking at cars.
Oh, boy.
I don't know if that's worth for this episode or not.
You know what? Well, yeah.
Maybe not.
The time before that.
Right.
Before those clicky things. Right. Exactly. Right. Well.
Well, anyway, no. So let's rate it. What are we rating it?
What's our metric? Lead coins.
There you go. How many skee ball? Is it skee ball?
Was it skee ball? It was
Yeah.
skee ball arcade coins.
Yes.
Yes. You know what? I gotta say that I'm gonna put it right at 4. I really enjoyed it. I really did.
Yeah, I keep thinking about the first one too. So I keep thinking, this is my thought process. What would I rate the first one? I'd probably give it 4.
Right.
I like this one a little bit more.
Yeah.
4.2.
No, well, there you go.
I'm almost confident in that number.
By the way,
But I can go back in time and change it, right?
yes, you can. Yeah, you can go back in time. I was going to say, I was thinking today, or I was thinking yesterday. I was thinking yesterday. And when I thought, here's what I thought. I thought, our rating system, I don't go deep. I mean, I've gone to 2s before, and I thought, I'm never going to see a film that's going to
blow your socks off.
No, that's going to go below the 2.
I don't know. We might have one in our future.
Well, that's the thing. And then I saw all the films for this particular session, and I had to rethink my entire thing. I'm going, well, yeah, that's right. There are really bad films out there.
Speaking of what we're coming up, though, I think we're gonna do some Netflix and Hulu again.
Yeah, that's right. We are, and maybe some things to stay away from. You don't know.
Yeah, we'll see.
You don't know.
If a movie scares us, it probably would really scare somebody else. Probably, or really, if a movie just doesn't entertain us at all, there's probably a chance it won't entertain anybody. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know.
So now,
anyway, that's a weird teaser, isn't it?
Now, I wanted to ask you a question. We were watching the film along with my son and you, and he came and he joined us. And I wanted to know, I wanted to ask you how exactly I got blamed for him being fat as I am and in your hair going gray. How did that happen?
Talk about putting me on the spot.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. Since he's not here, it's all his fault. He just brought it up. I was like just sitting there minding my own business. This is the same son that used to paint sets, right?
Yes.
Not to change the subject.
4 feet up. Yeah, boy, you're trying to dig out of this one.
But for those people who are listening to
that.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. What was I mentioning though? It's I was talking about credits when the credits are going by, and he was mentioning that the credits are going on and on and on and on, and I was saying how the credits at the very beginning, the ones that we like, I would be a production designer, and that's one of the leading credits. And a lot of times,
well, back in the 80s, you were like probably third or fourth one mentioned.
Yeah, third or fourth one, right? Yeah. And those were standardized. They were standardized, and the people that went in them were standardized. And I was mentioning how that was standardized, and then then you had your posters. You would have, like, the stars would be in a certain order when they took the picture, and then they would then so many times, like, the names that would be above those would be completely out of order, right, according to the pictures. And it's because of the negotiating would still be going on, because they'd have to put the posters together, and then they wouldn't know until the last minute what the order was negotiated between the agent and the production company in order to get the names, and all that stuff is negotiated from scratch.
There's actually a weird part in Deadpool where you wonder, maybe there was a point where something negotiation was happening, but it was in the movie somewhere at some point. In
the movie, at some point, there seems to be multiple credits. Let's put it that way. But what I was saying was,
the only thing they didn't do, which I wish they would have, was cut away from that and show the meeting happening.
That would have been great. But then I mentioned how the credits at the end, how sloppy sometimes that gets done.
Story time. Story time. It's story time with Mick. 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 Story time with Mick.
I was working on Sid and Nancy, and I did the art direction and art direction and construction coordination of the LA wing of it, which included building all the bars on the road that they were supposed to be in. Actually, the interiors of them were all done in LA. The exteriors were done kind of on the road as they came up from San Diego. They stopped at dives along the way and did the outside. But the inside, we did all in this one enormous bar at the mouth of Laurel Canyon. And basically we had, what we did is we didn't have much time. And we went around. The bar was like a big disco bar that had been closed up. And it was one of those disco bars that has several different themes going on inside of it. As you go around, it was this huge horseshoe. And what we did is built a different bar here and a different bar there, a different bar here and a different bar here. We did the Paris scene where from Sid and Nancy, where Sid is singing "I Did It My Way." It's supposed to be doing it in Paris.
Yeah.
By the way, which was such a blowaway. I mean, to see Gary Oldman.
Oh God,
doing
he's
that,
awesome. Yeah,
and we were watching
and
him
a younger
do that.
Gary Oldman.
Oh, really young?
Yes.
Yeah, unknown. I mean, virtually unknown. Unknown.
That was a great movie, by the way.
It was a great movie. But watching unknown Gary Oldman, up there being this completely wasted, just a low Cockney accent, Oh, I did it my way. And then it would be cut and you go, oh, so what do you think? Was that good? Did I get the power on the last step as we were coming down? It was just like, holy crap. I mean, he was not what I would call, method.
Right.
Because you have these actors that stay in.
Oh yeah.
They completely. Stay away from me. I'm being the angry bad guy. And they go around and they try and do dickish things all day long.
Right. You wouldn't know any of those people, would you?
God no. David Carradine kind of doesn't come to mind immediately. So we're watching him, and we have all these bars, and then we also had the Chelsea Hotel. All the interiors of the Chelsea Hotel were done on stage there, and we busted our asses. And the studio sisters, Ray Fox and Linda Burbank, were the production designers, and they were very famous at the time, doing kind of. They were the ones that did Repo Man.
Oh, really?
So they did a lot of the classic. They were the ones that came up with that with the bit with the dog, all the food.
Oh, okay.
They couldn't. They kept putting the script out to all these procurement agencies that are supposed to get you a deal so that you can use their food and their this and this and this. And absolutely everybody read the script and said, are you kidding? There's no way in hell we're going to sign on to that. And so what they did as a joke is they just started printing labels that said like food on them. And the soda said red on the side of it, or blue, or something like it. And it was a running joke through the whole film. And these guys were the creative geniuses behind that. And they were really, really funny. They were hilarious people to work with, and they really didn't give a rat's ass about being on budget, or they just did their job, and they did it so well. So we're all working together up there, and we're going full circle here. I'm coming back to the credits. So everybody's going back to Britain. And there was a process. Alex Cox knew that it looked like they might have a problem with one of the cameras before they left. So it looked like it might have slipped the cog. They didn't know. And the thing is, they were supposed to finish shooting at like 4 o'clock in the morning, and they were all going to be on flights back to London at 9.
Oh boy.
And so he didn't want to fly away, not knowing what the film looked like, right? And so we had been working until 4 o'clock in the morning, and he held the film, and they froze the stage. What he did is he went and he stole the sound tapes.
Oh.
Which was the Nog were reel-to-reel tapes.
Right, yeah.
And he just, and there was no security back then. We didn't sit, he literally just walked over to the sound cart and just shoved them into his bag, right? Took him to his hotel room and held them for ransom for a whole day. The whole crew had to just dump their flights and everybody had to sit for a day until they developed the film and they could see if there was a problem, which there wasn't, and then they packed up and left. But because they didn't do anything for a day, we all went home and got some sleep because we literally had been busting our asses. I mean, then literally working like 18-hour days and coming back on 6-hour turnarounds and stuff. And so we just made an agreement to have a guy by the name of Dan Driscoll come in and clean the stage. And he ran a street labor crew, and they put everything in a dumpster, and away it went. So basically he swept the stage. And and so there was that 24 hours. At the end of the 24 hours, one of the PAs that's just about ready to get on the plane, they tell her, oh, by the way, we need you to get the names of the art department, the construction crew, and the art department, get their names. So, because we're going back to Britain and we didn't get the pay stubs, right? And so literally they send a PA back in. The only representative of the construction people and the art direction people is Dan Driscoll sweeping the stage.
Right. Yeah.
And he tells him he's the construction coordinator, art director, and writes it down, and that's
that goes what's on the credits.
Yeah, that's what's on the
right
credits.
Place, right time.
Yeah, right place, right time.
Yep.
So anyway,
one dick move, and
one day
you're golden.
You know what? I'm not even sure that it was a dick move. I think literally the guy probably came up and put it this way: "Hey, what's your name?" Yeah. Yeah. Right. I mean, that's probably in retrospect, it's very easy to put evil intention on it, but seriously,
he probably didn't really mean anything by it.
Seriously doubt it.
Probably not.
Yeah, I seriously.
Sorry, Dan.
I am almost 100% sure that 80% of the things that we think are sinister, are just we think they're sinister. Just we can't believe that people can screw up things that bad.
Well, you're talking to somebody in sales, and sometimes I assume everybody's being evil, but they're not really.
They're not really. Yeah. Stupidity actually is much more prevalent than evil. Right. I mean, by a long shot.
And people want to assume the worst sometimes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's
absolutely
weird. Human nature, I think.
Yeah, well.
What can I say?
You know what? I think that's actually a pretty good way to end this thing. 1, 2, 3.
Well, actually, this movie does something that I like that I've always talked about. This is Kurt Thomas along with Mick Strawn. Thank you for listening to the Dream Warrior Review. If you have any questions or just have feedback for our show, we welcome them at dreamwarriorreview@gmail.com. Of course, you can find us on Facebook and Twitter as well. As always, please follow us and tell your friends about us too. See you next time.